Hey, what's up, guys? Santo here from American Fitness. We got Morris with me, and you can barely see the top of his head. And we got Giovanni here. Giovanni here joining us. He wanted to get on our seat, so kick us off our seat. So we kind of gave him his own here. Let's see what's going on. So, anyways, thanks for joining us. We have a couple topics we want to talk about today. We're going over the ACSM, which is the American College of Sport and Medicine magazines that we get monthly. We have a new one out, but we're still going over the old one. The last video we talked about some of the trends. What did we talk about? Morris wasn't here for that one, but I talked to, go back to that video if you guys get a chance. But we talked about like the research they had on CrossFit and injuries, and we talked about how when you got. I talked a little bit about how when you have any kind of study where people are kind of telling their own information, like they're going in, you might get a little bit more negativity, which sucks, but you might get a little bit more negativity. So the CrossFit had like 33.3% reported injuries out of the 885 people that came forward. But as we know, a lot more people that are upset at stuff are louder than the people that are happy. If you're happy with something, you might not have went forward with it going, yeah, it's great. A lot more people will probably say it's great, so they don't need me to say it's great. But if something injured you, or you feel something injured you, you're probably more reluctant, or more, you're probably going to be like, yeah, forget, I hate CrossFit or whatever it may be, right? So that's how those numbers could be skewed. So we talked about that in the last video. Take a look. There's a few other things too on that, but we talked a little bit about trends and some of the trends in the USA being, and that's what we're going to go over today. Actually, kind of the top 20 trends or whatever that we see going in 2023. Talk a little bit about each one and which ones you guys might like. Comment below or send us a message. Right, G? We'll talk about those. Trends being things like the type of training, technology, things like that. So we'll go over all of those. But how you doing today, Morris? How's everything going?
And when you're talking about like technology, you got the wearable technology is one of the.
Yeah, so at number one, we have wearable technology. Wearable technology, number one. I don't really wear the technology. I know some people do. You?
Yeah, I don't not wear it today, but I have a Fitbit watch, and it's good. It gives you your heart rate and number of steps and all that stuff. So you go in your mind and you look at your watch and say, oh, I'm a little bit low today. So you do that extra effort to get in a few more steps or get your heart rate up, so it does work.
Kind of motivates you, eh?
Yeah,
kind of motivates you. You know what?
Yeah.
When I was in Greece, I didn't have anything wearable, but I had the phone, in my pocket all the time, and it kind of counts your steps and stuff. And I would always be amazed at like, wow, like I'm getting way more steps in today, and I almost wanted to beat myself the next day and get more steps in and more, elevation or whatever. Yeah, so that's pretty good. Yeah. So that's sitting at number one as. Actually a worldwide trend. So that's not just USA, that's a worldwide trend for 2023. Would you stop biting me? Hey, can you look at the people? I know there's nobody there, but there's a camera there. Want to look at the camera?
Smile for the camera.
We're getting covered. Yeah. All right, let's turn it around.
Yeah.
Over here. Look this way. Like, what the hell happened? Number two, we have strength training with free weights, which is nice to see. It's very important. We know strength training to help us hold on to muscle, gain muscle, keep our bodies strong, keep our bodies fit. G.
He's working out now.
He's working out now. Now he wants to get his workouts in. So strength training with free weights. So we know the importance of resistance training, and studies have shown that we need to keep our bodies strong, and strong bodies, strong minds. To keep our bodies moving correctly and effectively. I think our past the old days where it's like, oh, just go for walks and you'll be good, or do this or do that. Without any strength training, we're seeing that strength training and muscle building and all that is so important. Muscles actually help with our endocrine cycle and the way we feel. It's almost like giving us an antidepressant, the natural antidepressant when we strength training, resistance training, the muscle we put on.
Good.
So
you do something. The free weights is basic. It's there, or you can pick up something heavy and you can stretch your shoulder or whatever, or arms in, but put a little weight on it. It sure. Yeah, it feels better when you're done,
Yeah, it feels good. You get the pump and the dopamine and the endorphins and all that good stuff. So
Yeah.
Strength training, so wearable technology, number 1, strength training, number 2, body weight training, number 3. So back in the idea of training, with strength, but using your body weight. So, push-ups, squats, being able to do those things effectively, picking up something off the ground effectively, using your hips, using your back, using your legs, all these muscles in a correct form and fashion. So seeing that being popular. Gee, you're not going to be in any more of our videos if you keep bothering us. He's so spoiled. So we got wearable technology, number 1, strength training, and we'll call that resistance training, training with weights or equipment for number 2. Number 3, body weight training, so effectively moving our body to train, to move properly, and to put our bodies in proper positions, whether it's squats or lunges, running, jumping, push-ups, all that kind of stuff. So so once again, just like number 2, just like resistance training, we know the importance of muscle. We're trying to focus on that for a better quality of life,
And then the other one we have is the physical program for older adults.
Okay, so number 4. So this is something that we're starting to see more and more of, right? And I said in the last video, USA had, that as being one of their top 3 in the USA, and some other countries coming, some other countries a little bit more behind, but seeing them, where USA will put Canada in, but seeing where we were a few years ago in, nutrition and weight loss, kind of things like that would help with that, diet and helping with eating properly, where other countries weren't really needing that because they're already eating properly, seeing the fast food joints and stuff open up in these other places. Now we see that starting to develop in the other countries, and the need for the fitness professionals in other countries that maybe didn't need those before, or didn't really see too much impact in having obese people before. Now with us, we're seeing that now being, and as we're aging in North America, we're seeing the role for programs for older adults, and seeing that older adults really want to be fit, really want to get into these programs. And especially, like I said in the last video, how things are becoming easier to get food easier. We're getting it delivered to our door. It might not be the best stuff. We're not cooking as much as we used to, and more need for keeping us fit as we age, right?
Yeah, and I know a few older people as well.
We know a few. Yeah, we know a few. So Morris has really been training a lot on himself and knowing the impact on that and how important it is to, he does a lot of activities as well, and just wants to be able to, quality of life, and, and like we talked about before, just because he's an above the knee amputee doesn't mean his quality of life's going to suffer. He's going to focus on everything he can to improve it.
We got the functional fitness training.
Functional fitness training, so you're going to see that a lot more, right? With these functional based classes and stuff like that. Functional fitness being, just everyday functional stuff, right? So training for people to, physiotherapists are getting a lot more busier these days because of injuries, at-home injuries. We see stuff where people are putting something in the oven and trying to get something out of the oven, and then their back, something happens. And it's not even really weight related. It's just a function of life. So we're seeing that more and more now, where, gee, we're going to kick you out of here if you keep biting us. We're going to kick you out of here. Yeah, you're going to get kicked out of here. Okay, so you guys stop doing that. So just overall functional training, making sure people are functioning correctly during life. I think people put, function on a lot of different activities, but it's really just kind of making everyday life easier. So things you do everyday life, whatever it may be, being able to put something up on a counter or on a shelf. If that's not helping you, you need functional training for that. Functional, being the everyday life kind of activities. Deadlifts help with functional training. One of the CrossFit manuals, I'm not sure if they still have it in there, but I remember back in the day reading how somebody got in an argument with a doctor, how the doctor said you can't do a deadlift, and the patient or the trainer, I can't remember, would say, well, you're telling my patient they can't put something on the ground and pick it up again, because I'm training them how to do that properly. Like they come to the door with a bag of groceries, they got to put the bag down, open the door, pick it back up. You're telling the client not to do that. That's a deadlift, basically, right? So kind of functional exercises and being able to understand why that exercise is done and how that pertains to function in life, right?
Yeah.
So similar things are very popular and very important for us to be able to do. So aside from strength training, aside from body weight training, functional programs for adults or fitness programs for adults, functional fitness training, I guess we could have those in 4 separate categories, but they're all very related, right?
I think the number 6 is outdoor activities.
Outdoor activities. There you go, G. Outdoor activities. We love outdoor training, you know, especially out here in the summertime. Some people love, not really into outdoor activities in the winter. You are. You do some outdoor stuff like your ice fishing and stuff, snowmobiling.
Yeah.
So it's great to be able to get stuff outdoors. We know just being out in the nature and stuff is great for us. Fresh air and just kind of being able to move and function out in the public and nature and all that. We do boot camps in the summertime, so we love the outdoor training, and so that's nice to see.
It's great to get outdoors, you know, go fishing. You know, I love fishing, but don't get out enough. But it's just being outside. It's really good, you know. Yeah,
you love fishing. You be fishing every day. My father too. He loves fishing as well, and it's just one of those things where it's like it's great to have those kind of hobbies that you could do, and you could get out and enjoy and you're not aching and pain and you can't even carry your tackle box or you can't even do things, and that would just be awful, right? So all these activities, all these strength training and functional training and all that will help with that, and in turn they help with each other. So being able to get out more and do stuff helps with the mind and helps with our productivity and our feelings, our comfort doing other things as well. So so that's good.
Then you get the high intensity internal.
So high intensity interval training is up there. I think it's one of those things that's it's been around. It's coming around again with functional fitness and functional training, and especially for athletes, we're seeing that a lot of the strength programs in gyms, I've been noticing anyways, where a lot more what we say, our athletes are more and more stronger, they're more faster. The athletes in professional sports and stuff, we're getting bigger and stronger, but we're also seeing a lot more injuries that we never really saw before. And there's a lot of professionals out there that are studying the use of weight training in gyms, and seeing that might not be the ideal type of training for a lot of these athletes, especially if they're in high intensity sports, say football, where they're doing like 5 seconds or 10 seconds of sprinting, and all of a sudden, you're stopped for 30 seconds or something like that, and then all of a sudden it's 10 seconds of hard intensity and stopping. Getting them into weight training is not technically training. Yeah, sure, it's training their muscles, but it's not really getting them geared up for sports, which is the small tissue injuries like their ankles, their joints, ligaments, tendons, things like that. We're seeing a lot more injuries in those areas. So we're seeing a lot of these strength and conditioning coaches in these high level sports, football being one of them, where they're focusing more on high intensity, not so much interval training. Interval training is an easy way to do group classes, and we're seeing that a lot, but high intensity training, doing body weight exercises a lot more intense, strengthening their ligaments and joints and their tendons and all that, making them more pliable and more able to sustain pressure and not so much under load all the time, especially when they're in season. So seeing a lot more of that coming back to high intensity training, or for this case, interval training, where you'll see some of the classes and group environments become very popular in these boutique style gyms where they're doing the high intensity interval training. And I love it. I think that's what Iron Fit classes, the Iron Fit classes. Even our boot camps, we love doing the high intensity training. It's just great, builds a great way of performance through endurance and strength and power and all that kind of stuff.
And they have exercise for weight loss. It's number 8 for.
Yeah, so exercise for weight loss, we'll do this as our last one today.
Okay.
And that's kind of another thing too, like, we're wanting to exercise and we understand, okay, exercise is going to keep us healthy and help us lose weight and stuff like that. But we should always look at that as a help us lose weight, not being the main thing that makes us lose weight. Because if we're not changing an awful diet, like we're eating the same way we're always eating, and we start an exercise program, sure, you're adding a little bit of calorie loss, you're adding a little bit of moving your body a bit more, so you're making your body into more of an oven, like you're starting to perform more and get a little bit more out of your body. Sure, you might see some changes, but if you're not really changing your diet and all that kind of stuff, the weight loss is not really going to be coming off maybe as much as you need it to or want to. But as far as weight training for weight loss, yeah, we're starting to see that. That's good that we're getting people to start doing that, as well as, and I'm guessing they're talking about that on top of dieting, like on top of getting a good nutritious day-to-day kind of lifestyle. Diet being a bad word, we don't want to say diet, but good nutritious lifestyle where you're kind of focusing on better whole foods and
watching stuff that goes in.
Watching stuff that goes in and your output, your body's output to help burn excess, calories and help with that kind of thing. So I think those are important topics. We'll talk a few more, but I think those are the main ones, like talking about all that being good trends for 2023. They have a few more on there. Let's just name off a few more that they have. We won't really go into detail on them, but it's just so everybody knows kind of what we see trending for 2023. And like I said, this is the ACSM book. We have another one that came in. This is the March-April one. So we'll be talking about that one in the next little bit. And this is the January-February that we're going over. This was the one that had the CrossFit numbers in there, the CrossFit injury numbers. So exercise for weight loss, employed certified fitness professionals. We're not seeing that too much in North America, but we are seeing that in those other countries that didn't have really much, issues with weight gain and stuff like that. Some Portugal and Spain and European countries that are starting to see now that, hey, we need some help. We're getting a little bit bigger as a whole. Exercise for weight loss, employing certified fitness professionals, personal training, core training, circuit training, home exercise gyms. So we saw a lot of that coming over the pandemic. So we're seeing more of a trend on that for 2023 as people, moving their making their areas of their house into a gym and training at home, which is great. Group exercise training, so group classes, exercise is medicine, so using exercise to help get people healthier, off medications maybe, things like that, so that is good to see. Lifestyle medicine for exercise, yoga, licenses for fitness professionals, health well-being coaches, so we're seeing some of that, not necessarily a fitness trainer, but like a well-being coach, somebody who can help with your mental health and therapy. Because there is a lot more that goes into, getting yourself fit. Like our mental game's got to be there, and sometimes a therapist is a good person to talk to. Maybe we're overeating stuff, and it's not so much that we're hungry. It may be kind of that we're bored or we're lonely. There's so many things that go into overeating, right? So therapy is good for a lot of us to maybe look into that, and that's. And then we got mobile exercise apps, which, like we said at the beginning, with wearable technology, same kind of idea, having apps that you could kind of follow, something that hypes you up. You put the numbers in and, you did better than last time. So those are our fitness trends for 2023, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoyed that. Thanks, Morris, for joining us.
All right.
Thanks, G, for bothering us the whole time. And the last video you'll be in. Just kidding. We'll see. Thanks, guys. See you later.